What's up, Scoop Podcast? I'm your host, Erica Kruppen, and on today's episode, I want to talk about vehicle wraps. I want to talk about signage. I want to talk about that kind of fun stuff because that's the season that I'm in right now. Right now, I just got, not right now, not like today, but recently I got 3 vehicles wrapped. They're all uniform, they all look very nice. This was a huge step in my business, so I figured it was perfect timing to go ahead and talk about that. So if you're interested in hearing all about that, stay tuned. But before we hop into that, let's talk a little bit about me. If you don't want to listen to me, fast forward like, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes. And then we can get into the meat of it. First of all, for those of you that are watching, my light died. It just like died. I don't know what happened. So I have no good lighting. So here it is. You get shadows. I almost was like, you know what? I don't want to record the podcast. Like, my lighting's off. You can't do that. Sometimes in business and life, things aren't going the way that they need to, and you just have to push. You have to push through it and not let minor inconveniences or large inconveniences stop you from doing the things that you need to do, you know? Like, I was having a bad hair day. Oh, I'll put on a hat. Sounds good to me. It's just like the little things that we do to really push on through. Let's do some housekeeping stuff before we hop into the meat of everything. What's been going on? Let me catch you up. I landed a dog park that I've been wanting to service for quite some time. That happened last week. We also got the truck wrap, so that's the third vehicle. I have 2 Hondas, and then I have the truck. I signed a lease for an office space, so we're moving out of my husband's garage and taking on more overhead. I got mixed feelings about it. Yes, I'm ready to move out of the garage and move into an office space, but I'm also like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Um, I'm nervous, but excited. I don't move in until May 1st, so we still got some time. So if you're listening to this and you want to ask some questions, go ahead. And then when you guys are listening, if you're watching this over on YouTube, anytime that you guys leave comments, it helps me out. It not only makes me feel good, especially when you leave nice comments, but even if you don't and you just ask questions, that lets me know that like you gauged and you guys are hanging out, and then I can respond back to you and we can develop a community. Because it kind of sucks when I post a video and nobody comments on it, and I'm like, dang, man, should I keep doing this? Like, is this really even helping anybody? Maybe that's just me getting in my own head, but that's the kind of stuff that I think about when I don't get engagement. It's just something I've been kind of battling with just a lower engagement in general. And I've been kind of like going back and forth about like engagement, statistics versus impact, right? And, for a little bit, we all kind of get caught up. And I know for me, I get caught up in like numbers, right? Especially with like the business, wanting to get more customers, wanting to get more numbers, wanting to just more, 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 more. And the same thing happens with the YouTube channel. And I just had a moment with myself where I was like, the poop scooping industry isn't super large. I'm never going to have I probably won't have like, those large millions of subscribers. And I don't want that. I want to make sure that I keep bringing value to the people that are here and impacting people's lives in a way that, helps them move forward in their life, even if it's talking about like mental health stuff or things in the business or just like a little tangent or a nugget. And so I had to refocus and just focus on like the impact part of it. Because a lot of times it's hard to or it's easy to just get lost in the weeds and compare yourself to other people. And it's okay if you get off track and you find yourself in a place where you don't necessarily want to be. It's okay to be like, how did I get here? Let's refocus. Let's get back on what's really important. And for me, for this channel, because I often get asked like, what's the goal? What's the plan? Why are you doing this? It really is to impact people and share my journey and connect with people and build, and it really is about building community. And if there's monetary value attached to that to keep this going, great. Great. I love that. But It's never really been about making a bunch of money and living the high life. Even though I was thinking, like, yeah, that would be great. I'd love to make, I don't know, how much do people on the internet make? I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. I was just letting you guys know that that's the goal with this channel and with the podcast is just making an impact and bringing people together. Which I have some really really cool plans for this podcast when I move into the space because I'm gonna have like a room that's dedicated for podcasting, and so. And since I'll be out of my podcast bedroom studio, I'll be able to like bring people in and local business owners and female business owners because I really want to start focusing on the female aspect of a business. Now, fellas that are listening, I love you. I do. You guys have been awesome. There's so much content out there for you guys. And the content space for female business owners that are in the service industry, like what we're doing, there is a content gap. Because I've looked, trust me, a lot of the content out there is like stay at home moms, work from home. I'm not a stay at home mom. I don't work from, well, I kind of do work from home, but you get the drift. Like, it just didn't relate to me. I'm like, where's the content at for a 37-year-old woman that's married, that has three stepchildren, no biological kids, has a dog that is super sober, like so sober, on a spiritual journey, likes to work out, likes people, but doesn't really like people that much, and definitely has like a threshold of who she wants to hang out with and who she doesn't want to hang out with, wants to grow her business, wants to expand her business, wants to achieve really good goals, but also wants to spend time with her family, spend time with her husband, have leisure time, go on vacation, and be able to balance it all, and still be able to run a household, be able to have clean clothes and dishes clean, and have a home that you're proud of, and all of the things that go into just running a household and being a woman. So yeah. So I want to start talking to other women and seeing how they're able to balance it, all while, maybe having your period that week, right? And you're trying to take on the world and you're trying to do everything, and then your period comes. Disrespectful, right? And then I'm 37, so I'm going to be headed towards, sorry fellas, I know you probably don't want to hear this kind of stuff, but this is the kind of stuff I want to talk about. Headed towards perimenopause, or the ladies that are a little bit older, heading towards menopause. Menopause? Whatever. And when we like lose our minds, because I know I've heard like, oh, she's crazy. She's done lost her mind. Well, when your hormones are out of whack, you can't think clearly. You get brain fog. Your chemistry is literally changing within your body, and other men can't. They don't understand because they don't go through it. So it would be nice to be able to have a safe space for women. But I still want to stay true to. I don't want to lose all of my male listeners either. So I don't know. I'm just trying to find a balance with it. That's just kind of what's been going on in my mind. Okay, we're 9 minutes in. See, that's perfect. That's perfect. I told you guys to skip ahead 5 to 10 minutes if you don't want to listen to that nonsense. All right, what are we actually talking about today? We're gonna talk about signage. All right, so let's go back in time. Where did we start? How did we start? How did we get started in business? I had a 2007 Chevy Cobalt. Okay, I ordered magnets from Vistaprint. They weren't they weren't super fancy, but they were in a shade of pink. They had black writing on it, and it was pretty true to what I think now. Who I am, what I do, and how to get in touch with us. Those are the three key elements I really focus on. Who we are, what we do, and how to get in touch with us. Now, you guys, I'm not like a signage expert. I'm not a marketing expert. I just pick stuff up along the way, and this is what works for me, okay? This is what has worked for me. So I started with those magnets. They weren't anything spectacular. They weren't even that large, but they were within the budget. And I think that's really important to make sure that when you're getting some stuff together, you figure out what your budget is, and if you don't have a very significant budget and you can't afford a bunch of stuff, you just get what you can. And if you're going to be out scooping, if you're going to be out in your vehicle is moving all the time. And so I think it's really important to try to get some type of magnet or signage on your vehicle. Now, the different type of signage that you can have the magnets, which is temporary. You can do like vinyl lettering that you can either pay somebody to put on for you or you can do it yourself. I know a lot of people do it themselves. I just don't know how to do that, and nor did I want to take the time to do so. Some people did it themselves and it looks really, really nice. Like they did a really, really good job. You can go to a company and have them put on a wrap. You could do a full wrap, you can do a partial wrap, and you can do lettering. I have done all of the above except for lettering it myself. I've never done that. I've done just letters. I've done a partial wrap, and then eventually I just did the full wrap. So we're going to talk about the pros and cons of all of that information. And along the way, I've had different logos, so my magnets have changed along the way. I found a local person to do my magnets for me, and then once I upgraded to that, those were like way better quality, way more visible, but they came with a higher price tag. I want to say for a set it was like 65 or $70, and that's really cool until you lose a magnet. So here's a little trick with the magnets. When you put them onto your vehicle, you need to make sure the vehicle is clean. You don't want to put them over top of dirt. You don't want to put the magnet over top of any like bumps or curves that has like where air can get underneath it. Like if your vehicle's curved, that's okay. But sometimes they have I don't know, like some decal or something that's running on the vehicle, and if that causes a hump and air can get underneath there when you're driving, the magnet will rip right off. Because I've lost a couple of them, and then my one scooper that uses her own vehicle, she loses them all the time. We're down to like nothing with our magnets. And you want to make sure that the back or the corners of the magnets also are flat. And when it's cold out, what I like to do is, even when it's not cold out, the magnets still kind of get cooler and they get more stiff. Turn on your defrost on your dashboard of your vehicle and toss the magnet up there and let it warm up. That way it's like pliable. So when you put it onto the vehicle, if you are taking these off and removing them, every time that you put it back on, you want to warm it up, lay it onto the surface, and really make sure you go around the edges and make sure everything lays very flat. That way, when you're cruising around town, hopefully your magnet won't fly off. I will say that every single time I went on the freeway, I lost a magnet. I don't really think that they're equipped for, cruising 70, 75, 80, 90. I don't think they're equipped for all that. But if you do lose a magnet and you lose it on like a side street, or you lose it, I don't know, somewhere local, you could do what I did and posted a picture of the magnet and posted it in my community on Facebook, and then shared it to my personal Facebook, saying that I lost my magnet and if anybody finds it, please reach out. People were commenting. People were like, "Oh, I seen it fly off of your vehicle. I seen it in the middle of the road." Like somebody commented and said they found my magnet in the middle of Cherry Hill. And so I was able to go get it and I like documented that, right? So then I was able to like show that, be like, "You guys saved my magnet. Thank you so much." And then it gave content and interaction, and then people feel like they're helping you because they're helping out a small business just by pointing out the magnet. And it was just like a really good experience, and it was a really good way to just I don't know, get involved within the community and have the community help you. It seemed to work quite well. That's that indirect marketing right there, because that post got a lot of shares, like a lot. People were like, "Keep a lookout for this magnet." And what did the magnet have on there? Who we are, what we do, and how to get in touch with us. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then always have extra magnets. Just have extra magnets. Okay? All right, I think that pretty much sums up the magnets. If you have anything extra to add, please jot it, write it, whatever, down in the comments over on YouTube and let me know what did I miss. So let's move over to lettering. Lettering is where you just put like numbers and words on there. You're not doing like a full wrap. You're not changing the color of your vehicle. You're not doing any of that. You're just adding information. I think if you do it yourself, I think you can get vinyl letters. I'm not really too sure where to get those, but if you know how to do it yourself, please add that information down in the comments. Bring some value, like let us know, because I haven't personally done this. I just know people that have. But what I do know is you want to make sure that your surface is clean so they stick. And then stick to who you are, what you do, and how to get in touch with you. Make sure the writing is bold and large so it's visible when a car is driving. You don't want to have small little writing where people can barely even read it. You want to have it large and in charge. So if you don't have a lot of room, and say for instance you can only put your phone number or your email address, I would pick one or the other. I would not sacrifice visibility to have both of those on. So you definitely want to have who you are and then how to get in touch with you. And you want to make sure that the lettering is bold, it's thick, it's super visible, and it's super legible. Okay, and then the same thing if you're going to have a company do this for you. Now, when I got mine lettered, I had like a logo put on there. I had some like little poop emojis. I had like a dog put on there, and then some tagline and slogans. And I want to say it cost me maybe $400 or $500 to get that done. And I rolled with that for quite some time on my truck. I mean, I rolled with that from 2020 all the way until 2024, which I just got my newly wrapped truck back like I don't know, maybe 4 days ago. So it's nice. And we kept it simple. And the writing for the most part was pretty legible. And then you also want to think about like placement. Something that really bothered me when I got the Honda wrapped. I did a partial on that, which I'll input a picture for the YouTube channel. I didn't like how the dog waste removal was on the bottom of the car and it like curved down. I felt like it wasn't super visible. So I didn't like that. So when I got my new wraps designed, I wanted to make sure that all the information that I was putting on there was higher up and not super low to the bottom, to where where the curvature of the car, it's angled downwards, and I just thought that it looked like crap. So you want to take that kind of into consideration on how the body of the vehicle is and your placement. And when you go to get a wrap done by somebody, if they send you a rendering and you're like, "Oh, I don't like that," don't be afraid to speak up. I went back and forth. Designing the truck was I wouldn't say it was a nightmare, but it was a lot more time consuming than I thought it was going to be, and it's been a very long process to get where we're at today. I will say that. Even with my logo design, I had somebody on Fiverr fire me. They fired me. We could talk about that on another time. But okay, let's talk about the partial wrap. A partial wrap is where you're going to get a part of the vehicle wrapped, and that's usually less expensive. I chose to do like hot pink on the trunk of my Honda HRV and then have it go through the sides and then like taper off into the front. And then I didn't at the time, like my logo was not great. I have a great logo now, but that took thousands of dollars of investment to make that happen. And that was it was a long process, a lot of conversations that Adam and I had from Brand Ready. Sorry. Yeah, I had to think about his name. His company is called Brand Ready. He designs logos, he designs brands, and he puts a lot of effort. He asks a lot of questions, and questions that I didn't necessarily didn't know how to answer because I hadn't really thought about it. And it's not like it's $50, it's not like it's $100, it's not like it's $500. Like what I'm going to show you guys and what you guys are newly seeing online, this is thousands of dollars invested into the brand, into the aesthetic of my company. And the reason why I wanted to level up, I want to get into more affluent communities. I want to gain those HOAs. I want to gain those parks. I have big plans for the business. And so I wanted to invest. And it was scary to make myself the logo for the business. Like, who the hell do you think you are? But like Adam said, who is Crouppen? I chose to use my last name as my business. Crouppin's Poopin' Scoopin'. Who is Crouppen? Crouppen's not a dog, okay? I'm Crouppen. So we're just going to roll with it. And Adam had to really work through that with me, and we had some conversations, and I'm really glad he did. Because now I have that wonderful logo, and then I was able to take that and then build upon it with the colors that he made for me, with the font that he gave me, and run with it. And then I went to my wrap company. We went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Finally, the guy sent me a message. He's like, I just want to let you know, like, we spent more time than what I quoted you for. We're a few hours over. And he just let me know that he was going to have to charge me more. And I said, okay, I understand. I wasn't happy with where we were at, and I understand that you're going to have to charge me more money, but I want to make sure that I'm happy with what I'm rolling around with. We got off on a tangent there. Let's refocus back to the half wrap. Refocus. The half wrap that I have, which RIP, rest in peace, Honda. That one got smashed. That one, I just had Crouppins, Poopin, Scoopin in like some bold letters. Boom, here we are. I think I had dog waste removal, and then I had the phone number on there. It was very, very simple. Very simple. But it got the job done for what I needed it for. And I want to say that probably cost me around $1,200 just for that, okay? So we're spending some money here, okay? We're spending some money here. But it was super visible, super vibrant. People were taking pictures of it. People were seeing it on social media. So it's an investment piece. It's not a waste of money, especially when you're out there and you're scooping. You know, I'm a firm believer that it's like if you only have a certain amount of money to spend and you're trying to figure out what to spend it on, and you're like, should I buy door hangers? Should I buy flyers? Should I buy hats? Should I buy all this stuff? It might be better off to not purchase the hat that's branded, or purchase the company uniforms that are branded, and take that money and invest it into signage for your vehicle, because that's going to be driving around all over the place. Now, I'm not saying that you don't want to have a company uniform, totally have a company uniform, but you can just go buy, like, I went to Walmart and bought pink shirts in the beginning, just pink shirts, and I wore that with black leggings, and that was my uniform. It wasn't branded, it didn't have signage on it, but I was still creating um that look. So when somebody's seen a pink shirt, or they see, seen that uniform, they're all like, "Oh, that's my scooper in the backyard." I was creating that brand awareness with the pink in the back. So if you're on limited funds and you're trying to figure out, I would say try, and you want to be visible, try to get signage on your vehicle as soon as possible, okay? And if you don't, if you are like, I want a full wrap, but my logo doesn't look good, then maybe hold off on that, because full wraps are going to cost you three, four, potentially $5,000, depending on where you live. And so that's why I waited so long to get the full wraps on the vehicle, because the logo and the design and the aesthetic and the brand wasn't ready for it. And when you're going to somebody to do this for you, if you're not a creative person, you want to make sure that the person you're working with is creative and can kind of help you, and will take time and have conversations with you and help get you in the direction. Because when I went and got this wrap, I had my logo, I had my colors, I had my font, but I wasn't sure on like how the layout, how I wanted it to look. And the guy had sent me over like 6, 7, 8 different renderings, and I was like, I don't like any of these. And he's like, what are you looking for? I'm like, I don't know. I want it to stand out. I want it to pop. I want it to just be eye catching. And I sent him over some references of some things that I liked. And he sent me over a couple other things. I was like, I don't like any of these. And then boom, he sent me over like the ray of sunshine, like the pink one, what I have on the vehicle. And I was like, I love it. But he had the ray behind me. So it was like emphasis on me. I said, let's move that behind the Crouppins, behind the logo, and see how that looks. And that's how we got it. Like, I didn't come up with that. He came up with it. And so I'm very grateful. So make sure that the person that you're going to, and ask the questions. And if they're sending you over stuff that looks like crap and you don't like it, or even if it doesn't like look like crap, I'm not saying it looks like crap, or if it's just not fitting like what you're looking for, but you don't know how to describe it, don't go with something that you don't like, because then you're going to end up being unhappy with it. And it's okay to take your time. It's your stuff. You just I'm surprised the rap guy didn't fire me. He would send it over to me. I'm like, move this one thing over. Swap this out. It was like one thing at a time. I don't like to move a bunch of stuff at once. It was like one, then he would send it over. I'm like, okay, I like that. Now let's move this. And it was very tedious. It was back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. And I'm very happy that he didn't fire me. What can you do? And I guess some of my last little pointers is you want to make sure that the company is reputable. You want to make sure that they have a warranty, at least 1 year warranty on their product. You want to make sure that you look through their portfolio. By any chance, if you see, if they say, hey, I did this car, if you know anybody, go look at it. Go look at it up close. Don't just look at the pictures online. If you can get a close up of like how it lays, how the handles look, how the edges look, and really like look at their application, do that. Do some research because this stuff is expensive. It's like a huge investment piece. Also, when you get a wrap, you're going to want to talk to your insurance company and figure out what kind of policy you have if you get into an accident. So, say for instance, if somebody were to crash into me and they were to repair the car, I have $1,200 that the insurance company would pay out to repair the wrap or put a new wrap on. But like with the Honda, it was a total loss. That means they totaled the vehicle out. And because the wrap didn't add any value to the vehicle, they had no coverage. They gave me no coverage for the wrap. So I had to pay for a whole new wrap out of pocket. Okay, so you're going to want to talk to your insurance company and see if you have any type of like coverage there. And I think that's really it. You just want to make sure that they're using good product. I think 3M is pretty standard. That's a good one. My hot pink, it's not like a high vis. Those neon high vis colors fade in the sun. Mine is not high vis, so it should last a lot longer. I don't know how long it's going to last. We'll see how that goes. You want to make sure that it's right, and you definitely want to make sure that your phone number and your business name is spelled right, and your email address is spelled right. All of that stuff on there. You want to have on there who you are, how to get in touch with you, and what you do, and then just I think that's it. I think off the top of my head, that's everything I got for you. If I missed something, you guys let me know. Add some value down in those comments. I appreciate it. Oh, one thing I did want to pepper out there, as you guys know, Jobber is a sponsor of the podcast. I was a guest speaker for the Jobber Summit, which was last week. It was really cool. It was a really great experience. Thank you to you guys that tuned in and hung out with me. It was really, really cool. I appreciate it. I was pretty nervous about, the information that I was putting out there. I put a lot of pressure on myself. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I just want to shine some light on a Jobber. I've been using Jobber for a long time within the business, and it really helps me keep on track. It helps me with the invoicing and with my routing. That's all really great. I love that. That's literally everything. But I've been leaning into the tasks. I know I've talked about this before, but if you're the type of person that you have a million things going on, and if it's out of sight and out of mind, like myself, I have a profile within Jobber, and I just go into my profile and I hit the task button, and then I create a task, even if it's something very little like drop business cards off at this customer's house. And you can assign it to a customer or you can assign it to yourself, just depending on what the situation is. But like today, we have court for the lady that hit Crystal because she's trying to get out of it. So I put that on the schedule. I also put on my schedule that I got to record the podcast. I need to call the insurance company. I need to go get my battery changed in my work truck because it keeps dying on me. Stuff like that. So if you are a person that just has a lot going on and you easily forget stuff, and if you're very similar to me and you're like literally you live in your CRM or you live in your phone, it makes it really easy to see what's on your calendar because you're always looking at your calendar. So if you have not used the task feature and you're a Jobber user, I definitely encourage you to check that out. And if you don't use Jobber yet and you want to try it, because why not? You can get a free trial, and I'll include my link down in the description so you can get a 14-day free trial and try it out. Now, it might be hard to try everything within the 14 days because it is a very robust software. There's a lot going on, a lot of additions as time goes on. But definitely go ahead. give it a chance, check it out, see if it would be the right fit for your business. I appreciate you guys so much for hanging out with me. I'm glad I decided to record this podcast, even though I have a wire poking out of my braces and it's stabbing me in my cheek. I was having a bad hair day. My light decided it didn't want to work. And I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb, so I'm getting messages galore. But that's all part of trying to achieve goals. And that's just life, man. It's just life. So I hope you guys have an excellent day. And until next time, bye.